Dorset, who is there for us. Rob, Thomas Tuchel's already had a big decision to make, hasn't he?
He really has, yeah, with Tino Livramento leaving the squad because of that calf injury. We're expecting Trevor Chalobah to join up in the next couple of days. He's not here now, and if you actually look across, well, let's take you a few pictures. There's Jordan Pickford over there training with the goalkeepers. His third World Cup, remember, we fully expect him to start in the goal for England again tomorrow. But there's Thomas Tuchel. He's got this funny habit since we've seen him out here in the US of wearing what I can only describe as a hoodie. He's been really bothered about hats and the sun getting onto his neck and his head, so he's tried a variety of things. That's the option he seems to prefer, and you can see him talking to Anthony Barry. Those two, between them, Tuchel and his assistant have made some big calls. They've decided to bring in Trevor Chalobah, a man they know very well, of course, from Chelsea. Thomas Tuchel worked with him very closely at Chelsea, rates him very, very highly, and he will come in for Tino Livramento, who very, very sadly picked up a calf strain in training on Sunday, and we're expecting him to leave the squad later on today. So 25 of England's 26-man squad out there training at the moment in the absence of Livramento and before Chalobah comes in the next couple of days. And Tuchel's going to get criticised. He's got some difficult questions to answer at that match day -1 pre-match news conference in Dallas later on this evening. Why has he ignored Trent Alexander-Arnold? He had to answer that question when he first named the squad. He's got to answer it again now, because the man in the middle of your picture there, Reece James, we know he's England's first choice right back. Trent Alexander-Arnold would have been the obvious cover. He's decided to go for a centre-back to bring in another defensive player elsewhere, really, a different position to try and bolster those ranks. He's, of course, got Jed Spence, who's another right-back as well. He knows he's got Ezri Konsa, who can play out there on the right. So there are plenty of options for England, but it doesn't change the fact there'll be a clamour for Trent Alexander-Arnold to be out here, as there was when he was left out of the original squad. But my understanding is that Tuchel wouldn't have used him very much. He would have been very much a fringe player, and with that in mind, there's Jed Spence and there's Ezri Konsa just behind him to the right. Look, two of England's other right-back options. My understanding is that Trent Alexander-Arnold would have been behind all of those in the reckoning, and so it's probably a big part of the reason that he's not being called up, that Tuchel felt there would be too much noise, too much distraction, too much of me in the media asking him why Trent Alexander-Arnold isn't playing, rather than focusing on the players that are. He'll have to answer that for himself a little bit later on as Tuchel strolls out to the right-hand side, casting an eye over the players. Remember, this is the final training session that England will have before they fly to Dallas later today and begin their World Cup campaign against Croatia tomorrow.
He's just taken the hoodie off for our cameras, hasn't he there, Rob? Look, you mentioned Trevor Chalobah. Yeah, Trevor Chalobah's not there yet. Can we expect him to link up with the rest of the squad soon?
Yes, we can. I mean, it'll be a couple of days, I think, before Trevor Chalobah gets here. I mean, it's actually quite a logistically difficult thing to do. We know he's been in America, which is another reason why I think he's got the nod. He's been acclimatising out here already. He was on holiday out here with his family. And he's ready to go. Logistically, England had to make this change 24 hours minimum before their first game. So that time is approaching pretty quickly. They had to make a big call. He can use the England kit that's out here, of course he can, but he'll want his own boots. They're presumably in England, and they've got to get that out to him as well. So it's going to take him a couple of days, but in the meantime, Tuchel will try and focus on the players that are here, and you're looking at two very close friends, Jude Bellingham and Morgan Rogers. You can see how close they are, you can see how well they get on, and yet those two are the really big rivals for probably the most coveted shirt in this England squad, the number 10 shirt. And Morgan Rogers was the man in possession throughout the whole of qualifying. He featured in every single one of England's qualifying games. But his childhood friend Jude Bellingham is the man who's been bang in form. I'm told Bellingham has been outstanding in training. I think he had the better of the performances in the two warm-up games against New Zealand and Costa Rica as well. So from the people I'm speaking to, there's an expectation that Jude Bellingham, the superstar, the Real Madrid maestro, the man who looks very relaxed in your pictures right now and enjoying himself, that he will get the nod at number 10 tomorrow. Now, not guaranteed, because Thomas Tuchel makes his decisions late. He likes to sleep on those decisions. He will not tell the players who's involved until match day, probably lunchtime match day, just before they head to the stadium. He likes to keep the players on their toes. And do you know what, Bella? The media are on their toes as well, because I'm looking at everybody who's got a bib on and everybody who hasn't, thinking, is there a clue there about England's starting 11? Probably not, because Harry Kane's got a bib on, and so has Noni Madueke, and so has Dan Burn, and so has Gerald Quansah. So I don't think all of them are going to be in the starting 11, apart from the captain, Harry Kane. And so don't read too much into who's got a bib and who hasn't got a bib, as much as I would like to mention that. But the other thing to point out is just how positive the mood is. This is the day before England's opener of a World Cup against Croatia. Croatia, the toughest opponents England will face in their group. Just look at the smiles on faces. Just look at how much they're enjoying each other's company and how much they're enjoying this training session in the warm sunshine here in Kansas City. John Stones, Marcus Rashford, all with big grins on their faces. That speaks volumes. The mood in this England camp is as high as I've ever seen it, I think, before a major tournament.
It really does look like they are enjoying themselves out there. Look, you mentioned the battle for number 10. Who could feature on the wings, Rob?
Well, the two wing positions we thought were pretty settled. Bukayo Saka on the right and Marcus Rashford on the left. But you're looking at Marcus Rashford now. He's facing real opposition for that, real competition for that left wing spot from Anthony Gordon, the man who a lot of the players in this squad are nicknaming Barcelona. There he is. He looks in great shape as well. He's rolled his shorts up. That tells you a little bit maybe about how hot it is out here. But Anthony Gordon really impressed Thomas Tuchel in that game against Costa Rica. The final warm-up game. He started and was outstanding. His energy levels, the way he was always looking to be positive and take on his fullback, I know impressed Thomas Tuchel. And so that's led a lot of people to believe maybe he'll get the nod ahead of Marcus Rashford. But just let me give you a sort of hang on a minute there, because the people I've been speaking to have told me that Marcus Rashford is in the form and the shape of his life. We saw him post on social media before the tournament started how hard he'd been working out here in America, and he looks absolutely fantastic, and his mood apparently is as high as it's ever been. He's positive around the camp. All right, his future's not secure yet in terms of Manchester United, possibly Barcelona, possibly elsewhere, but he's as mature and relaxed and comfortable as he has ever been, and I'm told he's been one of England's best performers in training. He's been absolutely outstanding. So that's the stuff we don't see on the cameras. It's the stuff that Thomas Tuchel and Anthony Barry see every day. I still think that battle between Gordon and Rashford is still very much alive. I wouldn't be surprised if it was Rashford who got the nod to start against Croatia tomorrow.
And then what do you think Tuchel's going to do about centre-back?
Well, again, it's very difficult to second-guess Thomas Tuchel, because he goes with what his feeling is at any one time. And in terms of the centre-backs, we thought that Mark Gay, who's just in front of us here, look, just in the middle of the rondo, with a little wrist support on there, by the way. I hope that's not anything to be concerned about. First time we've seen Mark Gay with any sort of injury. It doesn't look too serious. It's not stopping him train, not stopping him getting involved. But my assumption was that it would be like it has been in all of the qualifying games, and indeed how it was at the Euros 2 summers ago, with Mark Gay, England's first choice centre-back. And so we thought it was either John Stones or Ezri Konsa who would get the nod alongside him. John Stones having played very little football for Manchester City this season, but that man in the middle of your picture there, Stones, is a man that Thomas Tuchel absolutely loves, rates him incredibly highly, values his experience, his ability on the ball. He's like a Rolls Royce, isn't he? And so would it be Gay and Stones? Well, there's just been a suggestion to me that Ezri Konsa's physicality may be something that Tuchel is thinking about and may want for this game against Croatia. There's Konsa just to the left of where we're looking now. And Konsa has had an outstanding season for Aston Villa. Of course, he's won the Europa League with them, so he comes into this tournament on a very high mood as well. Pick any two of those three, and we'll try and find out more over the next 24 hours, of course. But Konsa, Stones and Mark Gay all battling for a starting place for England. And look, they're enjoying themselves out there. Let's go a bit wider, shall we, and show you the whole of that England squad, because Nico O'Reilly there, we expect to make his debut for England, his World Cup debut, I should say, at left-back tomorrow. They are in great nick, they are in great spirits, and even despite that huge blow to Tino Livramento, which will hit all of these players pretty hard, I think, in the last 24 hours, they'll be disappointed for him, for a teammate that he's missing out on his dream World Cup. But despite that, you can see the mood, you can see the smiles on the faces, you can see the optimism, the positivity, the confidence breeding throughout this entire squad. And let's see what Thomas Tuchel has to say a little bit later on, because this squad will head back in, get some lunch, head to the airport here in Kansas City later on this afternoon, our time, this evening, your time, and they will get that 2-hour flight to Dallas, rest their heads before their kick-off to the World Cup tomorrow against Croatia. They've had to wait 6 days for it in terms of the other matches. They are the last group that actually gets a chance to shine, but it all starts here now for England, and we'll hear from Thomas Tuchel later on.
The wait is finally over. England's 2026 FIFA World Cup campaign begins today with a huge Group L clash against Croatia, a fixture that already carries plenty of history, drama and expectation. For England supporters, memories of Croatia are impossible to forget, from the heartbreak of the 2018 World Cup semi-final defeat to more recent encounters. The two nations have built a fierce rivalry on football's biggest stages. Now they meet once again, with both sides eager to make an early statement in the tournament. Gareth Southgate's men arrive at the World Cup among the favourites to challenge for the trophy, with stars such as Jude Bellingham, Bukayo Saka, Phil Foden and captain Harry Kane leading the charge. England possess one of the strongest squads in the competition. However, Croatia are never a team to underestimate. Despite being considered outsiders compared to some of the tournament favourites, they continue to produce world-class talent and have repeatedly proven they can compete with the very best. Their experience in major tournaments could make them a dangerous opponent. England know that 3 points today would provide the perfect platform for the rest of their group stage campaign. A victory would immediately put pressure on fellow Group L rivals Ghana and Panama, while also boosting confidence ahead of the upcoming fixtures. The spotlight will undoubtedly be on Harry Kane, who enters another major tournament determined to finally lead England to international glory. Meanwhile, young stars like Jude Bellingham will be looking to showcase their talent on the biggest stage of all. The atmosphere is expected to be electric as millions tune in around the world to watch one of the most anticipated opening matches of the group stage. Can England finally begin a World Cup with a performance worthy of champions, or will Croatia once again spoil the party? One thing is certain, the road to World Cup glory starts here, and the Three Lions cannot afford a slow start. Kick-off, England versus Croatia competition. 2026 FIFA World Cup. Group L, what's at stake? An early advantage in one of the tournament's most competitive groups. The World Cup dream starts now.